Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Elise and this is my mystical bookshelf, and today I have for you a review of the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. I'm going to try and show you on my phone because I listened to it on Audible and it looks like it's focused. So yeah. This was a really charming book to listen to on audio. I feel like I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks recently, and honestly, I never used to like audiobooks, which I think is so funny because they're so easy to listen to. I guess before, I kind of used to get distracted listening to them, but I don't know, something changed. I started listening to them while working last month, and it is really a game changer because I used to listen to music while I was working, but I don't know, that was fine too. I like listening to music while working, but I feel like listening to an audiobook, it almost helps the day go by faster. That's how it feels, because a lot of the audiobooks that I listen to are around 8 hours long, which is about how long my workday is normally, so it's kind of nice just, sitting there doing my work and listening to a book. And I thought it would be kind of distracting doing it, but no, it's actually nice. It helps me zone in on my work and focus more. So honestly, that's my recommendation for audiobooks. If you like listening to stuff while you do other stuff, it's really awesome. Because I feel like reading an actual book, it's so time consuming, I guess, because you can't really do anything while you're reading because you are physically sitting there holding the book and stuff. But honestly, it's all about preference. But so far, I've really been liking listening to audiobooks more, and especially like the cozy fall ones, because they've got the greatest vibes in my opinion, and I'm really enjoying all the narrators I've been listening to, which is something I think I've also had a problem with in the past. Is there's certain narrators where it just doesn't fit for me, but with all the books I've been listening to, the narrators are spot on point, and I love how they can make the story come to life. And the Pumpkin Spice Cafe is no exception. It was read to me by Regina Reagan, and she was a great narrator. I really enjoyed her, how she interpreted the characters in her own voices, and you could definitely tell when someone different was talking, which I think is a big thing for me. I like it when you can tell when it's one woman versus another woman, or if it's a man, she makes it sound a little bit different, a little bit lower cadence, which would be hard as a woman to do that, but I give props to these people for being able to do voices, because I can't do voices very well. But yeah, the narrator was great, and the story itself was very cute. We are following Jeannie, and Jeannie is, she used to be an assistant to this really big time lawyer, but unfortunately her boss passed away, and it's really traumatizing, honestly, because she found her boss like dead in his office, like coming to work, and she was like, oh my god, he's not alive anymore. So that was kind of scary. Honestly, that was really weird to hear about, because I'm like, I don't like dead people, and they kind of freak me out, especially, like, I don't even know, even at funerals. I don't like going to funerals for this reason. But yeah, I don't know how I would feel if I like stumbled into work and saw like my boss or my coworker or someone just lying there, not alive anymore. I don't know, it'd be really traumatizing. So that was a big turning point for Jeannie, and because she felt like being a lawyer's assistant was really stressful, which I can understand why that would be stressful. She always had to balance a lot of things for this guy, and I guess he was having an affair, and she had to keep like the mistress from finding out about the wife, and she was just worrying about all this stupid stuff. And honestly, she was just thinking life is too short to worry about all of this stuff. So she quits her job, obviously, because you can't be an assistant to a dead person. But, so she quits her job and she realizes her aunt, Dot, I think her full name is Dorothea, probably, but everyone calls her Dot. So her aunt she gives the cafe to Jeannie, and it's the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and her Aunt Dot gives it to her to manage because her aunt is going on this like wonderful long-term cruise of some sort, like a vacation getaway, I guess, and like she totally deserves it. I think her Aunt Dot is like in her 70s or something, so she feels like her life is like done. She's done managing the cafe. She wants to relax more and do more stuff and not like sit around and make coffee for people, which is understandable. But Jeannie is excited for this because she feels like it's going to be a quieter life, a less stressful life, which, I mean, in theory, it totally would be. But when Jeannie gets to this place, it's called Dream Harbor. That's where the cafe is located. And she is a little stressed out at first, which is ironic because she got here hoping she wouldn't be stressed out. But the reason she is stressing out in the beginning is because there's something or someone like messing with her, I guess. It's sort of a mystery, but it's not really a mystery. It's not really a super integral part of the story, but she notices that someone or something is making a lot of noise outside every night, and it's kind of freaking her out, and she can't sleep very well. And the first time that she hears all these noises, she realizes it's the man who brings her Aunt Dot her groceries for the cafe. And this is where we meet Logan. And Logan is the love interest for Jeannie. And he's this really nice, sweet farmer guy. He's a farmer. He lives on a farm with his grandparents. And we learn a lot about him throughout the story. And we learn a lot about Jeannie with him and getting to know each other and stuff. So at first she's like, oh, okay, it's just the farmer guy who's bringing the groceries. And that's like the first instance, but then every other night she's like, well, then what can possibly be these other noises? And then we figure out there's a cat, and Jeannie takes in the cat and she names it Jasper because she wants to name it after a friendly ghost. And so after that, the noises kind of subside for a little while, but then strange things start happening at the cafe. Like, I think one day the power goes out randomly, or something like the fridge keeps getting unplugged and things start spoiling. And her and Logan are trying to figure out why this is happening. And at first, Jeannie thinks it's a ghost. And I mean, I can understand why she would think that, because it's kind of just happening out of nowhere. And she doesn't really have any leads necessarily, because the people that work for her are super nice. There's this college kid who works for her. There's this single mom that works for her. And then there's this older gentleman named Norman, who is the manager of the cafe, technically, when Jeannie's like doing other stuff. And it's funny because we find out there's like a lot of subplots in this book, which I thought was funny and interesting, I guess. Like, one of the subplots is that Norman is in love with Dot, and he's upset that Dot went to go on this vacation and he didn't get invited to it or something. But I feel like it's revealed that they never really like admitted their feelings towards each other, but we find out that Dot was in love with Norman too, and she was sad that he didn't want to come with her, or he didn't like suggest going with her. But really, it's just a big miscommunication because he totally wanted to go with her. He just didn't say anything. And she totally could have invited him, but she didn't. So it's like, dude, just talk to each other, honestly. That's really the big theme in this book, is like, people just need to talk to each other, honestly. All of the world's problems would be solved if people would just talk to each other. Really, honestly. But yeah, in the end, we find out that Norman was the one doing all this stuff to Jeannie, like making the power go out, like messing with the temperature when people were in the cafe and making it really cold or making it really hot. And like he was trying to sabotage her so that he would get ownership of the cafe and be able to do whatever he wanted with it instead of giving it to Jeannie like Dot had originally wanted. But honestly, it was funny. It was really funny learning that Dot and Norman had a thing for each other. And then there's another side couple where Hazel and Noah. Hazel is, she's like a side character, one of Jeannie's friends. And they get to know each other too and become friends. And Jeannie makes lots of friends in this town. There's a couple other side girls and like another guy that she makes friends with. But I can't remember their names. But honestly, it's just a really cute cast of characters. And it's funny because it's like set up, like at the end you can tell that Hazel and Noah like each other, but they're not saying anything to each other once again. Honestly, there's just a bunch of miscommunication tropes in this book, which if you find that annoying, you might not like it, but it doesn't really bother me that much, so I thought it was cute. But the next book follows Noah and Hazel, and this one is called The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore. And I'm ready to read that one now too, because I really liked the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. But overall, I would say that this was a very cozy book, and I really enjoyed all the characters, and I enjoyed Logan and Jeannie getting to know each other, and I enjoyed the romance. And I also enjoyed all the side subplots. It was like watching a movie or like a TV show with a bunch of like main characters and side characters, and it felt like every chapter was like a new episode. I've seen a lot of people compare it to Gilmore Girls on Instagram especially, but like I hate to sound like I live under a rock or something, but I've never watched Gilmore Girls, so I have no idea what it's about. And I mean, I feel like that might be taboo to say, but I guess I should watch it at some point just to see what people are talking about. Because I know Gilmore Girls is like this big hype show, but like I've heard of it and I don't even remember when it came out. But I've never watched it. But I know people say it's like peak Vol vibes, and that this book is peak Vol vibes, and that it reminds them of Gilmore Girls a lot, especially with Jeannie and stuff like that. And like the setting of Dream Harbor reminds them of Gilmore Girls. And I mean, even the author, her name is Laurie Gilmore. Like, that's a really weird coincidence. But yeah, I gave this book a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. There really wasn't too much that I didn't like about it. I thought it was really cute. It reminded me of a Hallmark movie too. Like, that's kind of the vibes I was getting. And I would definitely, I don't know, it's just like a pure fluffy book. Like, that's really what it is to me. And I feel like a 4-star is a pretty generous rating. But yeah, that was definitely one of my favorite reads for September. It was something that was really cute and fluffy, and it made me feel good, and I had a smile on my face when I was done listening to it. And it really put me in a good mood, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I like it when books can put me in a good mood. That's my main goal with reading, is to read a book that's not gonna make me sad, unless I'm in the mood to feel sad, which normally I'm not. And normally I like reading fluffy books. It's kind of a book that you don't have to think about too much, which is also nice. And I think that's why I like listening to these kinds of books at work, because it feels like you don't really have to pay attention. It's almost like, it feels like watching a TV show or a movie that you've watched a million times. Sorry. I lost my train of thought. But what I was trying to say is that fluffy books like this, I really enjoy them because it feels like something that you can listen to without too much thought, which is something that I enjoy sometimes, and I think a lot of people enjoy that. And it's like watching your favorite TV show. You know how it's gonna go, and it's just kind of like background noise. And sometimes that's nice, especially when I'm working, because I can focus on my work, and then I have that playing. and I can still listen to it, but I don't have to pay attention super hard, so I can still do what I'm doing. But honestly, that's really why I love listening to fluffy books like that. It's just fun. It's pure fun. And that's what I enjoy about reading most of the time, is just having fun and finding a book that makes me feel happy. And that's basically what I was trying to say before I got cut off. But I would totally recommend this book. Once again, if you don't like the miscommunication trope, it might not be for you. But honestly, it's really not that bad. I thought it was more funny than anything. Because it's like all these people are like, oh, I like you, but I didn't say anything. And they're like, oh, but I like you, but I never said anything either. I just thought it was cute. And I would totally recommend this book, especially for the fall vibes and the Gilmore Girls vibes, supposedly. Once I get to watching that, I will probably understand a lot more. But yeah, that's basically my thoughts on that book, and I really enjoyed reading it. And I hope you enjoy these videos, and I enjoy making them, and I thank my subscribers, and thank you for liking and commenting. And if you have any thoughts about this book, please let me know. I would love to talk to you in the comments. And if you have any recommendations about what I should do next or what I should read next, please let me know below as well. And just thank you for your support, and I appreciate everybody watching. And thank you. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, friends.